Hello, everybody. My name is Rodcon. I am an artist. I'm a designer. I am a teacher. And today, we shall draw together. So come on board. Join us as we venture deep into the world of art and drawing. How are you guys doing today? Let's doodle. Let's draw some stuff. But like always, we like to recap what we drew this morning. This morning we drew Care Bears. We felt like drawing Care Bears of different kinds. Medical Care Bear, pencil Care Bear, coffee Care Bear, buff, cross-dressing Care Bear. Then we drew Charmander and we drew Moustache a couple times. I'm liking the way that he's coming out. He's coming out nicely. And then we talked about mushies. I think I'm going to call these mushies because they're like mush. Let me show you guys what mushies are. Like mushies have become like one of my favorite things to do lately. So I start with like a basic shape, like in this case, like kind of like a round noodle or whatever. And then learning the very basic concept of overlapping a couple lines, learning how that can help you understand your bodies. And then once you start learning how to put your extremities, it becomes a nice little system to be able to draw the rest of your body from. So I still am working on how to actually make that happen and work nicely. So be patient. I shall get to a concept at some point soon. But it's something that I'm working on, and it's really, really fun. Like it's really fun to just learn how to do things through just light overlapping shapes. It's incredibly cool to know that you can draw faces and heads and bodies twisting by simply overlapping a couple lines. So that's something that I'll eventually be able to teach you guys once I master it. But other than that, how are you guys doing today? Are you guys doing good? Are you guys having fun? Are you guys having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday? It's Saturday, right? I think it's Saturday. I got 50% off my medicinal goods, so it must be Saturday. Because that's the only day they do it. The pondering question of the introvert. What day is it? Sorry, I know I've asked every time I've been here, but do you upload your streams somewhere? I upload them to YouTube. Boop-a-doo-boo. The good old YouTubes. I have like 400 videos. I have a ton of videos there. Like a ton. You've painted for hours today? Awesome. That's a good thing. Hopefully you understand that the more time you do it, the better you're going to get eventually. So, yay! Ashley, nobody has told you before. Wow, sorry. I love this. Hey, how's it going? Guess what? I love it too. That's why I do it. That's why I draw, and that's why I teach, and that's why I show you guys examples of how you can draw your things better, easier, simpler, and more accurate. That is the goal, to be able to show all of you guys how to use all these little knowledge-based things like perspective and anatomy and learning how to draw your bodies properly and stuff like that. That is my goal. Oh, thanks. I'm going to check it out because I am not able to catch every stream. Well, yeah, not everybody gets to catch every stream because I stream really irregularly. like, even though this is technically my job and I like quit my other work and stuff like that to be able to do and pursue this, I'm not very consistent when it comes down to time sometimes. Just like everybody else, I have massive ADHD. So I oftentimes forget. I just forget to do things for myself. Like if I have deadlines for like clients and stuff like that, it's like everything gets done, dealt with relatively quickly. When it's something for me, it's on the other hand, it's like, oh yeah, it can be postponed. Yeah, it can be postponed. Yeah, it can be postponed. And eventually, like a year goes by and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done shit for myself. But that changes this year. This year, we are going to focus a lot more on me. I'm going to focus on my how to draw book. I'm going to focus on my more like art block books that I want to get out. I'm going to do my travel companions sketchbook series. So it'll be like sketchbooks that have like little like exercises that you guys can use to improve some aspects of your drawing. Some prompt books that I want to get out, and I just want to release like a bunch of things that you guys can get. Like I want to have a little art kit that you guys can just like get that has just ballpoint pens and a cool little pouch and like some highlighters and stuff like that, so that you guys can just take a little sketch kit anywhere you guys want. I am talking with some companies to see if I can get some sketchbooks made, like some with just like my prints on them or whatever. So I'm talking to a bunch of things, and I'm trying to like figure out the best approach to make things work in a fashionable way, a way that's like easy and smooth, and it doesn't cost a lot of money for anybody. And I also am starting to look into the logistics of doing the whole Kickstarter for the master's degree. So doing a Kickstarter for my master's degree, but the caveat would be that I have to teach you guys everything that they teach me. So essentially give you guys a master's level education because you guys help me pay for my education. That would be essentially the trade-off. And I think that a lot of people would be more than happy to like do that. Your art reminds me of asterisk illustrations. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's like the little Viking guy, right? It's the little Viking guy. And then the big, one of them has like horns, I think. This is completely from memory, so it's probably wrong. No, I think he has like little wings. Does he have little wings or does he have horns? I forget, but I know he has like a little beard. So I'm not really sure exactly what he looks like. Now it's just looking like a D&D character. And he's blonde, I know. Oh my God, did you guys hear what Wizards of the Coast did to all their like creative staff? Like Hasbro, like they let go like their entire like art departments. Like the people that created all like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, they let everybody go. That is like, it was just like hearing that was like, what? And you know why? I heard the reason why. They did it because they had to cut costs because sales of Play-Doh were down. So sales for Play-Doh were down, and that was such a core thing for them that they decided to cut costs in an industry that won like, I don't know, like international titles and stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's like fucking terrifying, man. Like companies. That's why I'm always keep saying, I constantly tell this, you guys, like, do not bank your goals on working for someone. Like, don't, like, it doesn't matter if you are making a majestic fucking game, apparently, right? It doesn't matter if you're making them millions. Like, if some whatever reason they're not making a profit in some other aspect of their like the company, they'll might just cut you. Like, that's just terrifying. Like, to me, that is absolutely terrifying. So it's just like, wow. It like makes me literally terrified to ever have to look for another job in the industry. Like, I'm lucky that I kind of like got out of that and became my own boss, right? I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that sense that I have become my own little like thing. So I had to dictate all the creative measures that happen within my structures of my creativeness. But a lot of people don't get to do that yet. And it's terrifying that a company like Hasbro can literally let go of an entire department that made them millions of dollars just because another thing was not selling enough and they needed to cut costs. It's terrifying to me. That's absolutely terrifying. Like I would always have like anxiety probably. Like I'm already like ugh about working for other people, and it's just like that just solidified the concept of me not wanting to work for another company like that. Oh, Hasbro, like the company that owns Wizards of the Coast and stuff, they let go of a lot of like most of their art departments and stuff like that because of the sales of another couple of their things. Like I believe it was Play-Doh and something else that had like record low sales, so they let go of the entire art department so they could make up the justification of the costs. That's just like wow. But anyways, it's happy time today. It's not annoying talking about companies time. Yeah, imagine getting like fired because My Little Pony or like Dora's Great Adventure video game did bad. Now your award-winning game that won Game of the Year is, and all the staff is gone just because of that. That's just ass backwards, man. Like it's so ass backwards. Like it makes no sense. And that's what you get with like having so many conglomerates that just own everything, right? That is just essentially what happens. Like if they need to cut costs, they're not going to care if it's good or bad. It's just whatever brings more money is going to get like either there or not. So it's not about popularity. It's not about what's trending. It's not any of that. So it doesn't benefit the culture at all. Like there's no cultural benefit to that. I don't know, man. I'm just bitter. Hello, can you do a bottom angle profile face? Yeah, we can do that. Let me finish this guy first. And let's give this guy more. So a profile face from the bottom. All right, we'll do that. So if we needed to look at a profile, first of all, a profile is just a face from the side. So normally we would draw it like this, right? So now if we want to make it look up, I'm just going to take that line and I'm going to rotate it up. Cool. So now we know that our ear is about halfway done. So I'm going to split the face halfway here and I'm going to find my ear. Awesome. If I have that, this is one side of my neck. My neck kind of curves in and back out. Right? It goes from ear down to my chin, and then back up to my other ear. So now that I have that one line, I can just make a little triangle, because this is a little triangle. Make a little triangle, and I have the bottom of my jaw, pretty easy. Okay, so now from there, I go up, and I draw a triangle again in the middle of my face. That triangle is going to give me my nose. That triangle is going to give me my mouth space, and that triangle is going to give me my cheekbones and my eye sockets. If I add another circle at the side of that circle, now I have my entire human skull. My neck is going to be at the back of my spine. My back of my head is my spine, right? Everybody agrees that your spine is in the back of your body, right? Everybody knows that. Okay. With that in mind, if you follow that back, that means if it's in the back of your body, that means that your rib cage on your chest is in the front of your body, right? That's only logical. If this is in the back, you need some sort of space going forward from there, because otherwise your rib cage or your spine would be right in the middle. If you did it like this, your spine is not in the middle of your rib cage, it's in the back. So we follow that down. This creates this little segment like this. This little circle, or whatever shape you use for here, is going to give you access to your collarbone. This is the middle of your rib cage, and this is where your pectorals and your shoulders connect. This connects to the bottom of that triangle. Ba-ba. And then from your ears down to there, you close it off. Everything connects to something else. Everything has a puzzle and a linkage. Everything links to something else. This is a really long neck, by the way. But I like to do that because it's really like an example. But if we were drawing something a little bit more real, let's see. We'll draw our ear, find our other ear, from the bottom of my ears to the middle of my neck. That is the front of my neck. My spine is in the back. So I create a little circle, and then I have access to everything. Triangle, nose, mouth, eyes. Temples. So understanding how that works, it's actually quite simple. You guys want to know the trick? You guys want to know what exercise you got to do that? It's a circle. Draw a circle inside. Draw 2 dots. These dots are going to represent your ears. In the front of your face, you're going to have your chin. Bottom of your ear to your chin. Go around, back to your other ear. Cool? So you go front, around, back up. Chin. Front, around, back up. Little by little, you're going to master the ability of drawing through that shape. Change the angles. Ear, ear, chin. Ear, chin, around to the other side. When you're drawing, you're only going to see one side of that, right? You're only going to see one side, but you still have to account for the other side so that you can draw your things a little bit more accurate. If you learn to read through your shape, you're not going to have any issues finding where things go. This is going to be one of the biggest factors in you learning how to draw posing and stuff like that better. Drawing through allows you to see where your other eye would be, for example. It allows you to see where the neck and the actual bottom part of your neck goes. Stuff like that. Little tiny little things like that that make you so much better. So if your poses look stiff, stop drawing them with sticks. Stop doing this when you're drawing your characters, right? Like even if you're doing this, stop doing that. The moment that you do this, first of all, your perspective is normally going to be just flat because most of the time you're going to be drawing your characters from the front. So this is just going to lead to very robotic, static poses. Okay? As opposed to try more spherical shapes. If you're having an issue understanding how the body works, try slightly more oval shapes, like more cones rather than triangles. Don't try boxes. Try oblongs. Try drawing curvy horns. Anything that can give you a circular element can give you a front and a back really quickly. The reason that I don't like doing this is because this doesn't give me volume, right? I would have to go in and actually add that volume individually to be able to find it if I wanted to. But if I start with my shape like that from the beginning, things just end up looking a little bit smoother. Things seem to be moving a little bit cooler. They seem to have a little more personality, right? It's a matter of like just playing around with different shapes and seeing what comes from that. These shapes that I like to draw, I call them swooshies. Because you go swoosh, swoosh. And you connect them back to the body. And then when you start drawing little circles around the connecting points, you start getting perspective for your body. And then when you want to go and add more detail, you just add more detail to that structure because you're drawing it from the proper anatomy place. Check this out. From that, if I wanted to add muscles, I just start adding the overlapping lines for my muscles. And those muscles will fall in the right place because you're basing it off like the actual places where things come from. It's funny. It's cool. So you can do super cartoony stuff. You can do super random, like anatomical, like designs, all based on that same concept, right? You can keep it nice and simple, or you can start stylizing it any way you feel like to make it look all dynamic and epic and awesome. Big feet. Aren't boxes good for perspective? They are. In certain situations, to me, it's easier to move a sphere in perspective because it's just round, right? So I can move anything in perspective. It's a circle, so much easier than I could a box. And I have all the front, the sides, the top, the bottom already set up too. Because when I'm seeing this, I'm seeing a cylinder. If a cylinder, I can just split the cylinder in half and I have a top and a bottom. So for shading, that's very simple. That cylinder, circle, connects to another circle. I already know where that midpoint is, so then that's the bottom. So coming up with sides, like if you're trying to come up with an actual like side of your leg doesn't do this, right? Your leg is not boxy. Your leg is round. Your leg has curvature. This flat part is not flat. This is a bone. That's not flat. This is just bone that wraps around your muscle structure. We draw things flat, but we're not drawing necessarily flat. It's not a flat surface. Nothing that has our body doesn't really have any flat sections except maybe like the side of the arm. Right? Like there's one part of the arm that kind of like has a flat side to it. There's like a little flatness to that side. The front of the chin, I guess like a little bit too. You know, like the bottom of the shin to the foot. You have your thigh, that's relatively flat, and then you have your volume in the back. And it connects to the back of the thigh. So that is essentially like very few straight lines happen in the body. So a lot of the times, it's much easier to represent everything like a sphere or an oblong because it gives you all the volume that you need. And it gives you the overlapping lines, and it gives you the perspective for your clothing. And it gives you everything you really need out of a basic guideline. Right? You can use these guidelines to come up with all the information you need for that body part. So to me, that just makes it so much easier, right? Whenever I see people draw people like boxes, I'm like, cool, let's see how you can build that. You know, like I want to observe how you're going to draw everything else. And a lot of people do approach it, you know, very like those mannequins, like those little tiny like posing ones that we get. A lot of people approach their bodies like that. And that's not wrong. That's not wrong at all, but it doesn't really give you any guidelines as to where your muscles go, right? This is just telling you how something moves in space. But this is not telling you how your lines are going to overlap, how your muscles connect. Like, there is no indication really as to where a lot of things go. And that's why it's confusing a lot to people. Because this, even though it can give you a nice solid structure, you have to know a lot of other things like subtlety and anatomy and stuff like that to be able to make it look like a cool character and not make it look robotic. It's just something that happens when you use a lot of boxes and stuff like that. I like using just natural flowing lines. Right? Get nice and smooth with it. And then if I need to change this, I can have my connecting points. And then I can start modifying my pose to fit whatever I need. Once I have my static pose, I can use that to ghost my other pose in there. So let's say that I have a very static pose, but I want something that's going to match this running pose. So now I can move this. I can move that forward, I can move that backwards, and now I have a character that's slightly running. Once I find my base, now I can make that something else. Once I find my base form, then I can ghost any pose I want. Yeah, it's going to make my sketch messy, but who cares? Once you find a very static pose that you're comfy with, you can find how it connects to your body, and then you can start using those connecting points and having fun with moving your elements around because now you know where it connects. So now you just have to connect it back to that one section and you can draw anything you want. Anything you want. Find your static pose. Find your connecting points, and then you can modify that pose as much as you feel like. And it's gonna look good. So it's a really cool little thing that I like to use. The sushi. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream so we can have that as a little lesson. And then I'm gonna restart the stream so I can play some music. Because then otherwise I can't upload it to YouTube. But I can do that, and that's gonna be cool. So that was our sushi lesson, little basic arm, body, rant and stuff. So let's end the stream here. I'll see you guys in any other lesson. But if you guys want to stick around and just sing along with me and draw with me and stuff like that, I'm going to start the stream again with music and fun stuff and just a little bit of a happier vibe. Okay? Bye.